You're listening to JW Raw with Eminem.
We are live.
All right. Hello, world. Hello, guys. How was your weekend? UFC 219 happened this weekend. Holly Holm and Cyborg.
I'm not his friend, by the way. I don't know this guy.
Welcome to the show, guys.
Well, I'm his friend.
Siyar.
Yes, sir. My name is Siyar Bahadurzada. I'm from Afghanistan. The only athlete in the welterweight division from Afghanistan. And I'm here sitting just in front of the most hated photographer in the world. But you know what? I like it. Why? Because I'm always for the bad guys.
I appreciate you.
You know, I'm even rooting for the bad guys in the movies. So
how easy it is to turn, right, a good guy into a bad guy these days, right? Social media is
social media can be your friend or your enemy.
I learned a very valuable thing. It's like either you're famous or infamous. It's like the same crap these days.
I think it is the same thing.
It's pretty much the same thing. Everyone wants to be infamous. Look at Colby Covington. A lot of guys, they just like, not that he wanted to, but
yeah, I didn't ask for this in any way, believe me.
Sometimes people get caught up in the act of trying to be the bad guy, and being a bad guy doesn't necessarily mean you're an asshole. But some guys want to earn the title of being an asshole more than being the bad guy, because they will say hurtful things to people about their heritage, about their language, about their looks or whatsoever, just to mess with them and get them to be against them. But that's not the right way. Muhammad Ali never offended anybody.
Exactly.
But everybody was laughing at his way of trash talk and his way of saying things and doing things. But some people, I guess, if you're not a good shit talker, please don't talk shit.
Yeah, and I'm not.
You cannot.
I think this weekend proved I'm not a very good shit talker, and in no way was I trying to be a shit talker this weekend.
The way I saw that post, honestly. So there are a few things that you can look at, and once you're okay. Look at this. If you're against the black color and I show you this, you say you're not gonna like it. If somebody's already against you and they're just waiting for that one little thing that you do wrong, and by any chance you do something wrong, then the hell breaks loose.
Yes.
And they come after you.
Exactly,
but the thing is, I looked at it, you can look at it the positive or the negative way of the post. I looked at it, in my humble opinion, you could also compliment her by fighting like a man, by saying that she fights like a man, not that to offend her gender, but to more emphasis on the way of her strength and striking and the way she walks people down. She does fight like a man. Although she's a woman, she does fight like a man. And I looked at the post in a way that your feelings were hurt because, of course, you're a big Holly Holm fan. You're a team of Holly Holm, and she just lost a fight. And on one side, you wanted to compliment her as a man, fighting like a man, that she fought like a man, because Holly Holm is not your average fighter, and she looked amazing, but she lost a fight. And on the other side, you wanted to show your grief for Holly Holm, who lost. So you got caught up in the mix of both emotion, and I truly believe you said something that you shouldn't have said out of emotions.
Yes.
But it happens to the best of us. Guess what? I've said a lot of things that I regret that I've said. And I wouldn't say it if I waited for a minute or 2 minutes. We have done a lot of shit in our lives.
Sometimes just spur of a moment, it just happens.
Exactly.
You just heat up in heat of the moment. You say something like this, but I don't believe a human being should be literally crucified for that. For just especially when you apologize. I mean, I don't know. Like, would you rather have a not sincere apology? Like, oh, just, how everyone try to be politically correct and just say, oh, so sorry, this and that and stuff like that. He said how he felt and why he did it, what he did. And then everyone attacked him because of the apology.
Here's the perspective. You're completely right. Here's what I think. If I do something wrong, I owe you a sincere apology.
Yeah.
I'm a man and I apologize. If you're not taking my sincere apology seriously and you don't respect it, it doesn't make me an asshole. Of course, I was an asshole. I made a mistake, but I apologized like a man. I made it right.
Yeah.
And if you're taking that apology and turn it around and twist it and not accept it or see it as some kind of whatever it is, that makes you look like an asshole.
Yeah, it's the way I said it. A bullied one turned into a bully.
This is
literally,
where, yeah,
because I don't think it's fair. You know, he screwed up. He did whatever he did, but it actually showed a strength of our team, of how we stand by each other. You know, because everyone is looking to like crucify him, throw him out, fire him, lost the job. You know, put him to the ground, this and that, blah blah. You know how many athletes we have? So many, right? And athletes screw up all the time, especially in the fighting world. You know,
I'm a big example.
You know, I mean, I'm not going to say names, but I can go on and on about athletes that screw up nonstop.
You know,
I love screwing up
because people are from the streets. People do whatever. Money screws them up. They screw up this and that, and then we stand by them, right? Yeah, we stand by them.
We do. We live and die by the sword.
Exactly.
You see this?
There you go.
I should have one of these. Anyways, so the other thing is, I was just trying to say something. I forgot because I looked at the sword and it took me back a few hundred years. Took me back a few years.
Assassin's Creed, they call that guy. Yeah. He's wearing a hoodie all the time. It looks like one.
Let's talk about that a little bit. Where are you from?
I'm from Afghanistan. I'm born in Afghanistan, but I grew up in Holland and Amsterdam. So I'm the only Afghan athlete here at Jackson Wink, and I look at a lot of people here, a lot of different races and different people with different languages.
Of course.
The management in this gym, the leadership in this gym is so great that me being as an Afghan fighter, Muslim Afghan fighter, being here and being accepted as one of their own, it's a big thing. It doesn't happen in every other gym.
That's true.
It doesn't. And the management here hasn't shown me anything but utmost respect and not even a bad word.
Well, when you come through these doors, you enter a world where you're not identified by your religion or your race or anything.
It's exactly what it feels like.
You are just a
your
fighter.
status, your race, your religion, your skin color stays outside of this door.
Exactly.
That's exactly what I felt, and this is why I'm coming all the way from Afghanistan here in New Mexico to train with these guys.
You just moved here, right? Permanently.
Yeah. I'm coming here to train with these guys because this is the best atmosphere I trust my body to be in. It's positive.
Yeah.
And I'm an athlete, and energy affects me, whether it's positive or negative. Negative energy has affected me in the past. It turned my life upside down. And positive energy has helped me too. And now I get to choose between negative and positive. Of course, I'm going to choose to put my body in a positive environment because I'm an athlete that affects my body.
And you've been in this game for how long? You know, years.
I've seen 3 generations of fighters.
Yeah.
Just because I was away because of long-term injuries and some setbacks in my life. I feel my body is like 22 years old. My body is not used. I'm 33, but I feel like 22. The way I train, the way I spar, I train like 4 times a day, and I'm recovered for the next day. It's just amazing.
So when did you get to when did you start out with Jackson Wink?
I started with Jackson Wink in 2016. No, 2015. At the end of 2015.
So was that at this building or was it the?
Yeah, it was this building.
Okay, so it was this building. Okay, so
yeah.
All right.
You guys had just moved from the other place.
Okay.
Yeah.
When the walls were still white, you're still very virginal.
Yeah,
around
I've been to that old gym too.
Yeah.
Just to get the
feeling.
Yeah, exactly. That being said, I'm happy to be here.
Yeah,
there are great coaches here, great people here, and if you're good, you meet good. If you're bad, you meet bad.
That's so true. I wish people could understand that because a lot of times people just don't get it, and coming into these doors, we are a family here, and we've said it a bunch of times. Once you're accepted by this family, we're not going to throw you out, throw you to the wolves just because of a mistake. And Winkle John likes to instill that in everybody at every chance he gets, that just because even at the highest level fighters screw up, he's not going to give up.
In the country of second chances.
Yes.
America is the country of second chance, and if you don't believe that, you're just not there.
You know what it is that, I mean, I know we're going through some difficulties right now. Obviously, this camp is one of the most pioneer camp, like you could say. It's one of the greatest camps in the world for how many years, right?
If not the,
yeah. And I mean, it's not. It's almost like people wait for your downfall, because obviously over the years, people build up their envy, and they sit there, and then they collect all the negative things that happen to you, and then they wait for the moments like this, to come out and start attacking you, without any type of proof, without any type of facts, without any type of things, which is very hurtful to a certain extent. But then you kind of makes you laugh, because you think like, oh man, when we get back on it, because Wing told me, it's like, hey Mish, if they're attacking you, obviously you did something right. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like looking at, okay, they bring my name up, obviously they feel threatened,
People tend to judge real quick.
Yeah.
But we believe in God.
Yeah.
And if God doesn't judge people until the last day of their existence, he judges them at the last day of the world, because you always have a second chance to redeem yourself.
There you go.
And to ask for forgiveness, and God always forgives. If God forgives us,
look what it says.
Who the hell is the regular population, regular people, not to forgive?
Yeah, read this.
One should examine oneself for a very long time before thinking of condemning others. That's exactly right. And we have, in Afghanistan, in Farsi, we have a saying. We say, when you point at somebody like this one finger points at him, and these three fingers points at you.
Oh yeah,
I've seen that.
These three fingers.
I've seen that poster.
So before you criticize somebody else or judge somebody else, look in the mirror and see if you see somebody without mistakes, and if you see somebody without regretful life, or that you have done something that you don't regret.
Yeah.
There's nobody that can say I haven't done anything that I regret.
Hashtag not my humans, bro. Not my humans, man. Not at all.
And the other thing is, people tend to hate you rather than love you.
Yeah.
And guess what? I fucking love it when people hate me. I fucking love it, because when somebody loves you, they might not buy a pay-per-view to see you.
Yeah.
Because they will be like, you know what? I'll watch it later.
They're going to support you.
But when somebody hates you and hates you with a passion,
they want to see you fail.
Oh, they want to see you
fall.
fall.
They tune in just to see you fall.
And they tune in.
Yeah, because they want to be you.
And most people like to be loved. I think it's pretty fucking sad. You should be yourself. Whether they like you or they hate you, you better be yourself.
Just people don't understand how many moving parts over here in this gym, and there's so many fighters. What's crazy about it that you have the Jackson Wink name, right? And there's so many fighters. So anyone's sin of any fighter lays on us as a gym. So when something like this happens, people will bring up all the fighters that screwed up, obviously, and they start, okay, this is what they do. They sell drugs at the gym. They sell, they hide fighters under the cages. I don't know where the hell that shit came from. It's like so much nonsense that people have no idea. But what's crazy is about, it's almost like if someone said it and wrote it, it must be true. So let's latch on to it. Let's be ship and just like, bark at the tree for no freaking reason. You don't know what's going on here. What the hell?
Throughout my athletic career,
Christ.
I got to know two sort of people.
Yeah.
The haters and the enviers. The enviers are never gonna change. Even if you cut off your heart and give it to them, enviers will always hate you. So it's not even worth spending energy on enviers. Put them on the side. Then we have haters.
Yeah.
Haters are those stupid fans who love you but don't know how to show it.
Yeah.
They just want to criticize you.
Yeah.
They just want to look in the bad. But once you perform, and they're confused lovers, they will turn the haters will turn to lovers.
Yeah.
They will love you.
Yeah.
They'll be your fans. But the enviers, if you feel, I have a rare talent for that.
Yeah.
I feel the difference between a hater and an envy when I read it. So some people that are envious towards me, I just don't waste energy. But haters, I do answer them sometimes, and they end up to be my fans.
Yeah.
And they apologize to me because I recognize the hate, the envy between the hate. So envious people.
Well, I have about 1,200 haters that I need to respond to if that's the case.
1,200? No, it's more. You have 1,200 comments.
Yeah.
No, you have 1,200 comments. That's not, on your own post.
Bro, you went viral. God damn.
Overnight sensation. Overnight sensation.
Yeah.
Over saying something, anger.
Twitter gave me a verified badge. I'm pretty cool.
They did. They say if you've been what they say if you featured in one of the major articles, like 3 articles, you become like Twitter
I am
verified.
I am the world's most hated photographer.
Would you ever thought that would happen with it?
And you know,
I'm not sure why.
Be careful what you ask for, I guess.
Sure.
That's funny. A lot of people, you know, just like
it's a Chinese proverb.
Which one?
Beware what you wish for, or be careful what you ask for.
Not that he wished for it. It was just a heat of the moment thing. And then the problem about it is that like this, if you in a, people say it whatever way, but if you he was in the environment in that bus, right? He was there, so and he heard a lot of things that triggered it, and I know he heard it because say it.
No, we can't.
Okay.
But
there's proof.
There's proof that very bad things were said about Holly.
Yeah.
Okay, and obviously him being Team Holly and being in that position, something gets sparked and your emotions get over this and that. You know, we're on the losing streak. There's nothing to hide.
Siyar brought up
all that stuff, and you get heated. You say something heated in the moment. You apologize. Not good enough. Oh well.
Siyar brought it up perfectly because when I made that post that night, I got back to the hotel. I was pissed. I was sad. I was upset. I was mad. I was a lot of emotions.
How many beers did you have in your system?
He doesn't drink them.
Yeah, no, I was sober, so I can't
no
even
drugs,
blame.
No, we don't do that.
I can't even blame that. So I got to the hotel. I took a picture from the press conference and I captioned it the way I did, and it was more. I was feeling. Upset for Holly than giving praise to Cyborg.
That's what I honestly read in that post.
Yeah,
that you were not attacking Cyborg
exactly,
but you were more very disappointed in Holly's defeat.
I've been watching Holly for 3 years, come in daily, literally 3-4 times a day, smashing the pads with Coach Wink and doing jiu-jitsu with Barata and Tusa and training with Chris Brown and all the sparring partners at the gym, and daily just taking the abuse and dishing out the abuse, and you take it personal when you see them perform.
Yeah. And
backstage, it's just tough to see, and my emotions got the better of me, and now it's a discussion that we have to have about a lot of different things, I guess, but it's out there. And
that's what's crazy is, like, you know, everyone, like I keep saying, everyone crucified the guy, this and that, and then, like, we didn't do it to John, right? We didn't do it to Cowboy. We didn't do it to anyone. We would never, you know, Wink will stand by your side, man, because we're a team. It's like Wink has this way of saying, is like, you know, you have like Cowboys and Indians. You know how when Cowboys against surrounded
circling the wagons, Wink calls it,
yeah, circling the wagon, and that's how he sees social media. Everyone from outside just jumping in, attacking, you know, picking it, trying to divide, you know, destroying whatever we've been building, you know, for so long. It hurts, but if we stick together as a team, as Cowboys, you know, all together and protect ourselves, we'll be fine. We'll be fine, and this is exactly what's happening. You know, it actually shows the true colors of people that are around you and people that support you. Not. And it's funny how everyone wants to be your friend when you're on top, right? And then when you fall down, you know, you so whatever something happens, everyone is just like sharks.
There's a saying: when you rise, you get to know your friends.
Yeah.
When you fall, you get to. No, when you rise, your friend gets to know you.
Yeah.
When you fall, you get to know your friends.
Yeah.
There's a saying, because when you rise, everybody sees you and everybody's your friend. But when you fall and you look up and you see around you who's around you, there's not there are not many people around you. And I've been through this too.
Yeah. This camp, I tell you this camp ain't going nowhere. Nowhere.
Yeah, there's a lot of people, journalists.
Put everything to rest.
2018.
We make a lot of mistakes. We make bigger mistakes than we have in the past few days, and all we can do is do a sincere apology and
brush off.
I'm honestly here, and I know that he's sincere with his apologies, and it's up to you it's up to the one who accept the apology or not. But the best thing he can do for what he has said is to apologize sincerely. That's it. More than that he cannot do, and more than that it's not realistic to expect. That being said, I'm very excited for 2018 because I'm going to be the champ this year.
There you go. I love that.
About it, man.
Welterweight division.
When's your next fight?
annihilate you.
Are we able to announce your next fight or anything? We got anything coming up?
Yes, I think
if we can't, we don't want to violate any.
I will be able to announce my fight within the next 2-3 days.
Excellent. Okay, well then that's a good.
And
stay tuned, guys.
I want to fight Matt Brown so bad because he's mentally very tough.
Yeah.
And
you see, he
comes to fight.
You see, he's going after Carlos. Yeah, you saw that today.
Well, he can go after whoever he wants, but I'm going after him, and he's running away from me. Doesn't matter who he chases. I will not let him go.
You're like breathing down his neck.
I'm breathing down his neck. Matt Brown is my next prey, bro. I've set my eyes on him, and
tough.
I've said I'll take him out within 3 minutes. If the clock goes past 3 minutes, I'll take off my gloves and walk out of the octagon and give him the fight.
Wow, you heard it here.
Wow,
this could be exciting. UFC, is it going to be a fight night or is it?
Whatever it is.
Whatever they
I
give,
want it to be a 3-rounder or a 5-rounder. I don't care because it's not going to go past the first round.
I love that. That's that's some confidence right there. I love it.
Sure, let's talk about a little bit about your home. Because I had some lunch with you the other day, and it was kind of pretty fascinating to me because I didn't know that about you. I mean, I knew you're a big superstar over there at home, but I found out that actually president of Afghanistan actually invited you to the White House.
True.
And I found it kind of pretty fascinating that the type of influence you have in your home. And then funny part about it is that everywhere you go, everything's like named after Siyar Bahadurzada, and you have like posters and things like that hanging all over the place and people chasing you. So it's kind of like, how is it over there? Is it like make you feel comfortable, uncomfortable? Like what do you feel about that?
Well, it's a mix of a few things when I go to Afghanistan. When I left Afghanistan, I left it as a refugee.
Okay.
And I was young. We had to escape Afghanistan. But when I went back, I went as a king.
Yeah.
I went as a champion.
Yeah.
And I was the first champion in the history of Afghan sports, in any sport.
Wow.
And in MMA, being the champion of the world, going back to Afghanistan. I was the first athlete at this level, and they loved it because we have seen a lot of war. We have seen a lot of people getting killed in Afghanistan for decades now. And this one thing that I brought to my people, the positive thing in sports, it makes them happy. It makes them smile and proud. And the first time I went to Afghanistan, there were like a handful of people who were training MMA.
Yeah.
I went back this year, like past year in September, October. There were tens of thousands of people practicing MMA.
It's a movement.
It's a movement.
They're looking for the way out because you found it.
They see me and they say, if Siyar can do it, I can do it. And the reason I'm fighting is this. I don't give a shit about money. I don't give a shit.
You don't want to go back.
I don't even negotiate my contracts with the UFC. I'm just give me something. I want to fight because my fighting changes a lot of lives.
Yeah.
This little thing that I'm doing, it has such a big impact in Afghanistan. It changes so many lives, and it makes so many people happy that have been tormented by different sorts of wars. Like as a little kid myself, as far back as I can remember, as a little kid, as far back as I can think and remember things, I remember bad memories walking over people's dead bodies and people's dead body parts on the streets, bloody people asking for help.
Yeah.
And I would run over their chests to make it home.
So
it was street to street war.
So it won't be you, yeah. It's like
and then coming here and performing for those people. And I know my entire country of 34 million people are behind me. They might not follow me on social media, but everybody knows me. Let's talk about Afghanistan. When I went to Afghanistan, there were like 5 bulletproof cars waiting under the plane to take me from there and bring me home. And there was tens of thousands of people outside the airport. They came to cheer me, and they were happy that I had this victory for them. Looking at those people and looking at the respect that they pay, and looking at our government, how they support me by inviting me to Afghanistan and coming to welcome me, like the chief executive came to welcome me. And that's a big thing. It's a big honor. It's a very big honor. And we call it presidential arc, but in the US they call it White House. And the White House contacted a few people to get to me, and they couldn't find me. And all of a sudden they had no other choice but to contact me through my Facebook fan page. And they were like, "This is from the presidential arc. We would like to talk to you because Mr. President wants to see you." And I was surprised. I was like, "Whoa, wow, cool." So I contacted them, and they said that the Mr. President wants to see you tomorrow night. I was excited.
Wow.
And we went to Mr. President.
We're trying to pull up a picture of that, but we're having some technical issues with that. But
I went there and I met with Mr. President, and he's a charismatic guy. He doesn't say much, but he's a charismatic guy. So we sat there, we talked, and I had some talks. And
what did you guys talk about? Like, what was it, MMA, or was it more about?
It was more about making people proud, and also about MMA. We talked about the sport and him congratulating me on my success and my influence on Afghan youth in Afghanistan. And I told him that I'm doing this, I'm using this stage to get to young generation outside Afghanistan, because they have studied outside. It's time for them to come back home,
right?
Just like I am. I have to train here in Albuquerque because I don't have these coaches in Afghanistan. But if these coaches would come with me to Afghanistan, I will train in Afghanistan,
right?
Because that's my country, that's my roots. Not to forget, I'm extremely thankful to Holland, because everything I do today for Afghanistan is because of Holland.
Nice.
So don't forget that. I'm very thankful to Holland, and Holland will always be in my heart, just like Afghanistan.
Nice.
That being said, after meeting Mr. President, the former president, Mr. Karzai, he contacted us, and he wanted to meet me. So I went and meet him and a few other fascinating politicians in Afghanistan. But the best feeling in the world was when I was going through the city and people saw me. They would run after me, call my name, that I'm the champion, I'm the best, I'm a...
So this guy on the left.
Yeah, the guy on the left is President Ghani.
Hello, Mr. President.
How cool is that, man? It's such a setting, such a...
He's
smiling, and you're being very respectful and having a cup of tea and some dessert.
I could only imagine what type of character you have to be to make it to the top in that type of environment. Like in that like the type of leadership skills and type of understanding that you have to have of like humans and human nature and politics and things like that. I mean, it's...
Afghanistan is not an easy country to reign. I'm telling you.
Way.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to get Afghans united because there are a lot of hands working to divide our people.
Yeah, for years. Do you think it will ever stop? That it will stabilize in that region anytime?
It depends.
I mean, it's been like this since I've been alive. I mean, I remember. I was going to tell you actually. Remember when Russia and Afghanistan were at war, right?
I was about to say, in this room right now, we have a Russian and an Afghanistan.
Right here.
That's how cool this is.
So
we're all friends.
What did you say? You're from Russia?
my only memory, I remember.
Take off your head.
Oh shit!
Oh boy. We don't need any more viral videos going on around here.
It's a joke.
It's a joke. Internet. It's sarcasm.
Remember what I said at the beginning of the program. When you walk through these doors, we are safe. We love each other.
But anyway, what I remember about it, like you were saying about, seeing so many people suffering, right? And I remember I was, I think, in the second or third grade when Afghanistan war was going on, and in Russia, they brought one of the students that went to my school, and they brought him in a coffin, for everyone to say bye. That's the only memory I have of that era. It was like 1980s or something.
Mm-hmm.
I was very young, and I remember seeing that coffin, and it just gave me chills, man. Till this day, I remember that, and I was very young.
But I have seen thousands of those type of
without
things.
Coffins.
I've seen other, but I'm saying it's just that it's association.
It has exactly. That's what you remember of that war.
Yeah, they brought him. I've seen way worse, but it's just that coffin scene, being a young kid.
It's born in your and retina.
Trust me, I've seen dead bodies too, man.
I know you've been in the army. I believe you. But the thing is, people don't realize that the war that happens, it happens between the government.
Yeah,
the people
have nothing to do with
it,
man. They don't. They don't. And just when you brought up Holland, actually, it's a funny part because probably not a lot of people know your association with Alistair and how close of a friends you are and how long you've been together. That's pretty. Actually, I found that interesting because I didn't know that for a while too until like when you joined the camp, and I looked into it. I'm like, oh damn, man, these guys are pretty close.
Yeah, I know.
How that relationship played out? You've been together with how long? You've been friends
I know Alistair for 16, 17 years now.
Wow.
A long time.
What an awesome guy he is, man. What an awesome freaking dude Alistair is, bro.
He's a very good guy. He's a very good guy. He's been like a big brother to me throughout all this MMA. We've had our ups and downs. We didn't like each other. We hated each other, but we solved it fighting. We would wear those little MMA gloves and we just exchange, man.
Damn.
Till one of us went down.
See, MMA
and none of us went down. We had a lot of those sparrings. We kicked the fuck out of each other. But now he's a heavyweight and I'm a welterweight. We cannot spar that way. But me and Alistair, we bonded through fighting, literally.
That's what sport does, man. That's what
we
do.
We're like brothers now, and he always looks out for me, technique-wise and game planning-wise, and he's been nothing but great to me. A lot of people dislike him, though, even Dutch people, just because of his aura and the way he looks. And but Alistair is really a really good guy.
Yes.
I think aura and all that thing is, I think sometimes media doesn't do it justice, like they did with John and so many other fighters that just like
some people are really good at forming opinion.
Yeah.
And they change your opinion about from good to bad and bad to good. It's media's work. But I believe if you don't know somebody genuinely closely, you shouldn't be judging somebody.
Yeah, you shouldn't.
It's stupid to judge somebody.
And that's what people do these days, because social media, because then people cut out when they want you to show and things like that, and then they don't know your intentions or things like that. I'm telling you, like, social media can make you or break you, man. It's like it's a very, very like necessary evil, I would say, out there. It just gets
being
people
on social media is it's not about people loving you, but you have to be yourself at all times. Whether they love you or they hate you, as long as they're not indifferent, because hate is also some sort of love.
Yeah, they're paying attention.
As long as they're not indifferent to you, you're doing something right. And I love more haters than who cares? Let them hate.
Yeah,
it's the weight that they're carrying on their shoulders. That's the hate. I don't hate anybody. I'm just trying to do what I do and touch as many people as I can with my talent, and hopefully in the process changing some lives and giving people hope, which I didn't have in my youth in Afghanistan. I didn't have somebody like me in the top that I could look at him and say, wow, I want to be like him. I want to be an athlete like him. I want to conquer the world just like this guy. I want to be one of the best on the planet.
For sure.
And it's amazing. It's all God's bless that I'm at the level that I am, and I will use this talent to touch hearts.
And I believe you will, Siyar, because first of all, you're a tremendous good fighter. I train with you, and I know how tough you are. It's like, holy shit. A lot of people don't know what's coming, but obviously you have to stay healthy, right? So that's the main part.
Sure.
A lot of people don't see what goes behind the stage and all the things that you have to overcome to get to the cage, and things like that. Your hands get broken, you get infections, you get so many things. People just
see the 15 minutes that we shine under those lights.
Yeah.
But what happens, what we do to get to that 15 minutes is gruesome. It's just grueling, and it's man.
That's satisfying, but satisfying when you get there.
It is satisfying.
Going home, knowing, having that feeling, and knowing you gave it all. I love that.
The days that you drag your feet home, that's the day that you feel the manliest.
Yeah,
you
do. Yeah, you come in, you make that lunch, a dinner, or whatever, and you just
enjoy it. Everything hurts.
It's like you almost live for a purpose. There's like purpose. There's a goal. There's something to do. There's some kind of next step to take. It's like it's not monotone, 9 to 5, same shit every day. It's always a goal. It's like living the dream, bro. Living the dream, no matter of outcome, really. No matter of outcome, win, lose, draw, whatever, man. Like see with us. We have to keep our heads up. We have to. There's no other way around. You're not gonna, you fall down, you brush yourself up, you get up, you keep on moving forward.
You know why?
And doesn't matter what they say. Who cares? It's your life. It's not theirs.
Exactly. And career, in an MMA career especially, or any other fight sport career or any other careers, you do the best you can, and whether people love it or hate it,
Yeah, that's it.
it doesn't matter.
They are not under the
try to be
magnifying
yourself.
glass. I'm sure you put every single person, take him out, pick any single person out of 7 billion people in this world, put him under magnifying glass, and damn, they'll
You'll
be
find
freaking-
some shit he has done that he regrets it.
Every single
Everybody
person
has
on
it.
this planet Earth. So how they say, don't throw the cast.
Don't throw stones in a glass house, or don't throw rocks in the
And
start.
there is one other one that I really that has
People,
stuck in my
man.
mind for as far as I can remember. It says that every sinner has a future, and every saint had a past.
Yeah.
Every saint had a past,
I love that.
and every sinner has a future.
I love that.
So the one that's a saint now, he has had a past. You have to
100%.
look into his past.
Of course.
And every sinner that's sinning now, he has a future. He can
Of course,
confess to
turn
God.
it. He can
He
turn it
turn-
around
he
and
can
become a
turn it
different
around,
person.
exactly.
It's like,
Exactly.
you know, as long as you recognize it and realize it, some people never turn. You know, they just bad people at heart and forever
They're
and
envious.
ever envious. I think envy and hate is the two biggest downfalls of a humankind. I think
believe so.
this what starts wars. That's what starts. That's what makes people kill other people.
What's
and
going on in
create-
this picture over
and
here?
Create all these things.
What's going on
Oh,
in that
that's
picture?
bad. That's
Oh man, when I got to Afghanistan, they had horses ready for me, and there were people standing on both sides of the road.
See, that's
Wow.
love.
That's truly love, man. That's amazing. That feeling when I
Wow.
was on the horse and people chanting my name and calling me the champ,
Wow.
and
They
telling
really-
me that they love me.
That's got to be a feeling.
That's the best feeling in the world, man.
So that was right after meeting with the president? Is that
No,
what
this is on the way too.
Oh, wow. Holy cow.
Taking
Taking
this
him
is
to
just
president.
when I
They were
arrived in
carrying- They
Afghanistan.
were carrying him to president.
How
Yeah.
awesome.
Here, president, we bring
And
you
the
the
only
champ.
thing I'm lacking on that horse is this
Yes,
horse, you
yeah.
know?
You know what's funny is that there's another picture of him somewhere probably there where he's giving a speech in front of military. That was pretty
Yeah,
cool.
I'll have to
This
look
is the chief executive of Afghanistan. He
Do you see yourself in politics after you finish? Do you think you're gonna make influence in this way, or you want to stick with MMA, maybe coach? What do you think of?
No.
Since
Come
you have
on.
since you have this outreach,
Let me tell you one thing.
Let's
Let me
do it.
tell you one thing. Sport is the most sincere way
I
of
love
showing yourself.
it. I love it.
Fighting doesn't change who you are. Fighting reveals who you are. When you fight in the cage, outside the cage, people doesn't know you.
Yeah.
Once you fight in the cage, people see you.
Yeah.
You're exposed. Yeah.
You're exposed. You get punched in the face. How you react to that?
Yeah.
You get taken down. How you react to that? You lose. How you react to that?
I love
You
that.
win. How you react to that?
I love that.
Yeah, so
You
true.
see so many setbacks in that one little fight that takes maybe 1 minute, 2 minutes, or 15 minutes. You get to know people. You get to know their character.
You know, you grew up with some incredible values. Obviously, the way you talk, it's great to hear you because it's
Yeah, one of the nice
it's very
ideas here.
it's very
man.
true. I mean, Afghanistan gets a bad rap in movies and Hollywood and such.
I'm
but
from the country of war and poetry.
Uh-huh.
War and poetry.
is that
Got married and I was
Wow.
born. Yes.
well,
So-
if it wasn't for the war background and all that stuff, I mean, it would be a great tourist destination. For when
Afghanistan is.
they've
man.
got skiing. They've
You know
got
why I love
just-
Albuquerque so much?
Yeah.
Because it's
reminds
very
you-
close to Afghanistan.
well, when they
reminds
make
you of it?
movies, actually,
It's
when they
very
make
close
yeah,
to Afghanistan, and being here and going on the top of these mountains and train, I feel like I'm home.
Really?
I feel like my people is waiting downstairs for me to go and say hi to them after the training.
I love that.
It's lovely to be here in Albuquerque. The weather is even like Afghanistan.
It's nice, right
amazing.
here. The
Yeah,
weather, man,
perfect.
it's cured me in so many ways. The climate here is just like wow.
So
That's why I call it elevation nation. Elevation nation.
So
High
sometimes I
altitude.
throw some poetry, and people think, "Man, we thought you were a fighter, but you were also a poet." I'm not a poet. It's just something that when you can express your emotions in a way that shows what you feel, I think people find that poetic,
Yeah.
and maybe it is poetry. But I'm not some kind of poet. But I whatever I feel, I just say it, and I don't hold back anything. I'm as true as it can be, and people know me. I'm sincere. When when I'm happy, people see it. When I'm sad, people see it too.
Yeah.
And when I'm excited, people see it. When I'm genuinely happy, people see it. But nobody has ever seen me hate or envy people, because it's not in me.
Yeah.
And I don't want to see people bully other people either.
I've never felt it either, bro. Like even from the past or whatever. Like sometimes you'll have like I dealt with some people that just come from certain backgrounds where Russia was involved in this, and just it's nothing to do with me, but just because. But it's like certain people are like you're guilty by association just because we were born there, and just we had nothing to do with it. And I never felt that from you. But we kicked off right away. It was what's up. There was nothing. There was nothing.
There's
like,
no animosity.
Yeah, he's from Afghanistan. I'm gonna stay away.
We are all one.
Yeah.
We are all one.
Family.
There is no animosity between any of us, because whatever games politics play, it's their dirty game. And even the soldiers who go to war, it's not their fault.
It's not their fault.
They signed up for it, but they didn't sign up for this specific war.
Well, some signed up. They had to sign up. Some were drafted, like because in Russia you had no choice. You know, in Russia they would have passport controls. Like if you're in university,
as soon as you turn 12, you're going to the war.
Yeah, like no. Well, I mean, when Russia was at war with Chechnya, man, like that's when I was growing up there, and it was crazy because, like, if you were on the street, you know, there was passport control. Like they would pick you up, literally, if you weren't in the military, and you know, because all the families were like hiding their children and stuff. You know what I'm saying? If you weren't in the military and they see in the passport whatever, they pick you up and you're just on the train on the way to the war. It was like, and your parents, your mother, no one would ever knew it. True. Like war brings like some crazy disaster.
Afghanistan, same thing.
Yeah, you can probably tell stories. They would
send you in the front line.
Yeah, you're like, what am I doing?
Got in the military and they send you in the front line.
Wow. It's like, what am I doing here? Like, what's going on?
It's crazy.
That's not how I envisioned my life going.
I can't even comprehend how you grew up as a child. I mean, it's got to be
crazy.
Well, we've been like people in those countries. As a little kids, we've been through so much.
I think it made us better people, bro. I think that those that went through it,
built us.
Yeah, that built
that
me,
has
man.
Built us to the people that we are today. And the people that we are today, we're very easy at reading people, because we've been so many times we've been deceived so many times.
Yeah.
We've been betrayed so many times by so many people that we recognize them now.
Yeah.
We might laugh at you, but we know you're talking bullshit.
Yeah.
We might say okay, but we know you're fooling around with us.
Yeah, you've gotten very good at
don't
reading
think that
deceit.
I don't see things.
I think reading people is important.
If I keep quiet about it,
yeah,
we see everything.
Makes you a good fighter too.
Exactly. But it does get annoying though. Like, it's like, just leave me alone. I just want to do my work, just enjoy what I do, and go home.
Don't
and
mess
just
with me, and I won't mess with you.
Don't mess with me. There's no reason for it. Go on your own path. Build your own path. You know, let me do what I do. Why you envy? Why you hate? Why you do this?
Winston Churchill said once,
what the fuck?
If you're on your way to your goal, and you stop and throw a stone at every at every dog that barks, you will never get to your goal.
Oh, that's true. I love that. That's
Winston Churchill said that once.
Yeah. He's full of all the good quotes.
Freaking Siyar is he's a poet.
That's awesome.
Don't judge me for the thing is, I'm not fighting because fighting is the only thing I can do.
Yeah, I'm sure you can do anything.
But fighting is the only thing I want to do for my people, because being an athlete and a sports person is the only way to unite everyone in Afghanistan.
I agree.
Because as an athlete, you have that power and you have that charisma
to influence people
and bring them together under one roof. And I've never said that from which ethnicity I am in Afghanistan or which. So they don't know whether I'm a Tajik, Uzbek, Hazara, or Pashtun.
It doesn't matter, because then they don't need to know.
They don't need to know.
Yeah.
They're all my people.
They've accepted you as their brothers.
They're like. I always say, this is a Tajik, Uzbek, Hazara, Pashtun, and this is my Afghan roots. If you make it a fist and united and hit anybody in the face, they will go down.
For sure.
But with these fingers, you can't do anything. Individually, they will eventually get it and break it.
I like that analogy.
How many bones have you broken?
Oh, I have broken almost every bone in my body.
Really?
Yeah.
From fighting or from other stuff?
Fighting. No, fighting.
Really?
I've broken my right hand 12 times.
Holy cow.
12 times.
How many fights you had altogether? Like
altogether,
pro, amateur?
I think amateur I have 9, and pro I have 30.
Wow. That's awesome.
What about the competitions before you became get into MMA? Like, cause what was your background originally?
I started with MMA.
Just started straight up MMA.
Started straight with MMA. But I was. I'm
sure you had to have some.
In the school in Afghanistan, it was always about being the boss of the class.
Yeah.
And I never backed down from people who bullied me, and I beat them up. And beating them up made me the hero.
Yeah.
Made me the baddest guy in the school. Because I didn't take shit from bullies.
A lot of street fights?
Oh, I have been in a lot of street fights and I've won them all.
Yeah.
I've made even 2-3 people run away. That's why my grandfather,
making people cry.
When I was 5, I fought 3 kids bigger than my size, and they beat me up, but I went after them, and I beat them up back until they ran away.
Wow.
And my grandfather was watching this, and he didn't come to rescue. He wanted to see my personality.
It was a manhood thing.
He wanted to see whether I have it or not.
Wow.
And he came to me, and he gave me as a reward money. In Afghanistan, we give as to make little kids happy. We gave them money as a reward if they did something nice.
How cool is that?
So he gave me that reward, and that day he looked at me. He said, "You're going to be somebody big. That you will make all of us proud, and you will raise our flag high." These are the exact words that he said that day. And you're a killer.
Wow.
That's what he said.
So is he still around?
No, my grandfather is unfortunately not still around.
Did he get to see you in the
see
UFC?
Me perform
No,
he didn't.
That's horrible.
That was one of my when I first fought in the UFC and I won my fight. I knew my grandfather was there.
Of course he was. Yeah.
And I always have my grandfather and one of my best friends, Andy Yekel, who passed away, both of them with me in every fight. So he gave me the nickname, the Killer.
The grandpa did, or your friend?
Grandfather.
Wow. So
my grandfather back in that age when I was 5.
So Killer, is that still your nickname?
No. When I came to America, I had to change
probably not politically correct, I guess.
It wasn't politically correct.
So what is your nickname now? What are they calling you?
I go by the Great.
The Great.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't know why.
Siyar.
Siyar the Great.
So when Bruce Buffer yells your name, that's Siyar the Great.
Bahadurzada.
Yeah, I'm not that great.
I remember watching you. What was your first fight in UFC? Who against who? Was it?
Paulo Thiago.
That's the one. That's right. I knew that. Just wanted
42 seconds.
Yeah, I remember watching that fight. It was in Brazil, right?
Yeah. No, it was in Sweden.
Sweden?
Yeah.
Oh, it wasn't
after his fight in Brazil, he came to Sweden.
Oh, okay.
Paulo Thiago.
Yeah, I remember watching that first fight, and I was like, I mean, that is a one heavy-handed dude, man.
And I didn't even hit him that hard. It's just the timing of the punch when he walked in. That has been my problem. My heavy hands. Even when I spar with guys here, and I touch them really light, like for my feeling, I just touch them, but they feel it like I hit them because my hands are heavy, and they get offended and they start to hit back, and I start laughing. I'm like, dude, I'm not hitting you hard.
Nick, our producer over there's got a burning question for you. Ask him what you're trying to.
What's up, Nick?
Yeah, so fight of the night bonuses in Afghanistan with your grandpa. What kind of change was that?
Yeah, what kind of money was that?
Oh wow! So a reporter asked me when I won fight of the night. He said, "So what are you gonna do with that money?" I said, "I'm gonna buy a Maserati because that's my favorite car." But I didn't know that there was a shitstorm waiting for me of injuries. I got out of that fight and I started training and I broke my hand. And I broke
one of the 12 times.
And I broke my hand again.
Oh wow!
And again, and I had to go to Afghanistan to get a surgery and put a pin in my hand because I was breaking my hand. And that surgery helped it. So now no more broken hands, thank God. And I'm preparing for fights. And going to Afghanistan, I would go and eat in a restaurant, and they would not take my money.
Really?
They would not take my money.
Because you're a star. You're just
for some reason.
Isn't that weird?
For some strange reason.
It's like the more popular you get.
I was always, dude, let me please pay for my food and give you some tip. You've been working hard all day. Let me just take care of you.
Do they accept tips over there? I mean, how does that work?
They do.
Because some countries they don't.
But they wouldn't. If somebody, let's say you invite me and take me to a restaurant.
Yeah.
And we eat. After we finish, the restaurant doesn't take your money. They say, he's my guest.
Wow.
And tomorrow, you, him, and if you have other friends, you're also invited back here so we can cook whatever you wanna cook for you. It happened all the time in Afghanistan.
You know what's funny? Cause
I go to a suit store to buy a suit, and they wouldn't take my money.
I
said, I'm not taking the suit if you don't take my money.
They tailor you, and it's here. It's on us. Thank you.
It's an honor.
Please wear this suit.
Wow. You know, it's funny.
I had to pay them. I would leave more money on the table and then leave.
Good for you.
Just run away.
Yeah.
It's funny because I have a lot of Russian Muslim friends, right? And I've been, Habib and stuff like that, and and Timur and everyone that used to come
Habib
here.
is awesome.
Yeah,
I love Timur.
Timur as well.
Rustam, Habib, like
Rustam.
Adlan,
I love all
knew
those
this guy.
guys. They're
And
great
it's funny
people.
that anytime like we go to a restaurant or anywhere, you know, and you know, they have a huge table covered of food and stuff, and then at the end of when you got to pay a bill, everyone is fighting.
Everyone's
over
fighting to
check.
pay the bill.
Everyone is running like I'm paying. No matter you have money, you don't have money, like you lost money,
Yeah.
they're
Still pay.
fighting for it.
Yeah.
True.
They're fighting for it. And
True.
if you know you have a hard time and stuff like that, you know, like, I mean, I learned in Russia it's very similar to the same thing. Like you go, you know, it's a privilege to pay for someone.
Let me show you a
you
trick.
know.
Let me
I
show
don't
you a
know.
trick. Next time you go out and eat
Yeah.
with all those friends, go and pull the waitress aside and give her $50 and
Yeah.
say, when you bring the receipt, I'm going to fight for it. Or I'm going to fight the loudest fight, but you're not going to give it to me. You're going to give it to one of my friends. So there you go.
There you go.
There you go.
That's
Yeah,
awesome. I like that strategy.
But
CR the Great has such knowledge.
you do that when you don't have money. Like, not for the whole bill.
Just
at
pull
least.
them aside.
That's
Pull them
awesome.
aside and say, here's $50. I'm going to fight for the bill, but you're not giving it to me.
Oh yeah,
Give
so
it to
there's
one of my
strategy
friends.
to it.
Good for you, CR. This has been an awesome experience with you, man. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
You're definitely one of the most genuine dudes here, man.
Thanks, man. I appreciate
know,
you guys.
Yeah,
It's,
well, I love training with you, and I love everything you bring to the team, and just that positivity. I think it comes from that Alistair also, from that circle, because when they come in, those guys are nothing but positive. I've
Yeah.
never seen anyone
It's a
down.
Holland. It must be a
Or
Holland
I
thing.
don't know what kind of culture you have over there that you guys grew up with. I've never had a single issue. Everyone's always laughing, smiling,
True.
uplifting each other up, and no matter, you know, even after the fight, you know, after the
true.
fight, the same thing.
You know, we
you
all
know, it's
have-
funny. You know, it's funny. I was literally night before Alistair was fighting, because back in it's funny. I forgot to tell you. So I'm in my bed, like 2 at night. He was in New York, I think. Was it in Ganu fight? It was New York, right? Where was it?
Francis, no, it was in
No, it
Detroit.
was in Detroit.
Detroit. Those time
Detroit.
anyway, time difference, right? So he was right. So it was
Couple hours
way
ahead.
way later, yeah. So I get a message. He sends me an article about Russian fight with Poland. You know, because we had an
Hours
argument.
before
I'm
the
like,
fight.
Alistair,
Hours
you are
before the fight.
amazing freaking person. Here you are, before you won the biggest fights ever. And here you are, like brainstorming history lessons and try to get me
That's
engaged in this
Alistair.
conversation. I sent
That's,
him a
that's
message.
how I know him.
I sent him a message.
Yeah.
Alistair, you're awesome, bro. No matter what it is, man, I'm biggest fan of yours for the
Yeah,
rest of
he
your
is a
life,
good
man.
guy.
He's
Just-
a-
we
we love him.
we fighters, man. People don't understand what we go through.
They're good people,
And,
man. A lot of good
we
people.
train 2-3 times a day, and we train the hardest we can, and it affects our hormones up and down,
Yeah,
and it makes us a little temperamental.
it does.
Temperamental.
Mark knows, man.
Well, and that's
It
what-
makes us
And
temperamental
that's why,
because
yeah.
because we're tired. We go through so much. We don't eat what we like. We don't drink what we like. We're limited to eating this much.
And then if you can't train because you injury, infection, and it
And
puts
there are
all this
so many
pressure on
things
you,
we're
just like,
fighting.
you want to train.
Exactly, and there are so many things we're fighting. Everybody's fighting his battles, but as an athlete, we're fighting so many different battles at the same time
Yeah.
that people don't realize.
Yeah,
And when we say something,
financial
people are ready
injuries.
to judge us, and people are ready to stone us.
Yeah.
Well, because of
For
that,
no reason.
the-
And funny, for no reasons. There's no
Exactly.
reasons at all. You know, at all.
Sometimes people have a bad day. They read your tweet and they're like, you know what? Fuck this guy. I'm gonna tweet him something hurtful.
Yeah.
We all have our bad days.
That's
We all
exactly
do.
what
And
happened.
that's why-
exactly what happened.
and
to
that's
the
why-
world's hater.
I can relate to
Exactly.
that.
And that's why it doesn't make those people who tweet you that thing a hater.
Exactly.
Because it's just that one time that they didn't feel good. And I understand. We don't always have our day. We don't.
Sure.
I don't have my day maybe once a week.
Well, I mean, I could have took it myself. The problem with it is it went on a viral thing, and they started attacking the gym,
That's a hard
and that was the hard part that I brought heat to the gym, and Mr. Winklejohn has supported me 100% about this whole thing, and the gym is what in Holly obviously is what hurt my feelings, because it affected them, because she Cyborg's not completely responsible. Her fans took it to the next level by trying to destroy the reputation of the gym by hitting our Yelp and our reviews and such, and I think that
not
took it,
realizing that there's
That's
people actually that
completely-
it took it to
live
the next
here
level.
make a living here, that go home to their families, that it affects their lives in so many different ways. I mean, I understand, she's already established fighter and she has this and that, but there's people that work here that depend on this place to live on, so they can go home and feed their families.
How many mistakes has President Trump has made?
Yes.
Did we all fire him? Did we all dethrone him?
Yeah.
Talk about tweets.
Yeah. Like, why would you go after a person's livelihood, take apology and move on? Especially when everyone attacks you all the time anyway. Not the right thing. No, it's not right.
How many hurtful things has President Trump said about the refugees? And I'm one of them.
Yeah.
I'm one of them.
Do you take it personal when he says that kind of stuff?
I don't take it personal because he doesn't know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
He has never been in my position.
See, and that's a good way to look at it. Yeah.
See, I have seen the world from a frog perspective, and I have seen the world from a bird perspective. He has not. He has seen the world only from a bird perspective. He has never been in a frog situation to look up to the world. He's never been there.
So the frog and the bird. Yeah,
okay. The frog
looks up and the bird looks down.
Wow.
He has always been looking down on world.
It's like a lot of these people in charge, they never had to step over dead bodies and stuff and see things like that. Like in front of them.
They didn't have to. They didn't have to fall time after time when they thought their life was over. When they thought they couldn't pick up a glass of water, let alone fighting again. I was praying to God so that I'm one day able to hold my own son or kid or whatever. That's how bad my shoulders were hurt. To be there from the top of the world and then climb back that thing. He has never been through this, and him saying a lot of hurtful things. People still love him. He's the president. If the president says these things and gets away with it, we should get away with it too. President is as human to God as we are. We're all creatures of one God.
Well, that's pretty much the hypocrisy, man. That's another trait of human beings that is just not just something that will never go away, because hypocrisy is something that just exists, and it's also evil.
I appreciate real people who are bold more than diplomatic people who are who will slay your throat with a smile when you're not watching. I love people who are straightforward. I don't care how hurtful they can be, but if it's sincere, I respect those people more
than the fakes.
Exactly, because the fakes, you never know when they're gonna stab you.
Exactly.
The real ones, it right away.
Trusting a snake.
I don't need your smiles, man. I don't need your pat on my back, man. I need the actions, man. You know what I'm saying? Like the actions show. What
let me tell you a little story.
That's true.
There was this bird flying from south to north, from north to south, and on the way the weather got cold, and the bird fell down. And as the bird was on the floor crying for life and asking for somebody to warm her up, a cow passed away. And the cow came and stood on this bird and shit on it.
Oh, jeez.
And shit on the bird.
You would think that would be a bad thing.
So the shit warmed the bird up, and the bird was ready to fly again. And now the bird was yelling for somebody to help her out of the shit. What happens? A cat comes along and helps her out of the shit and eats her after that.
Oh, shit.
Jesus Christ.
So people who shit on you doesn't mean that they're your enemy. And people who help you out of shit doesn't mean that they're your friends. That's the moral of the story.
My God, that's some deep stuff.
So many ways to look at it, man. Damn.
Bird should have took some CBD oil or something.
Hey, please don't eat me and don't shit on me, man. Just let me be, man.
we gotta plug our sponsor a little bit there.
On a good note, Mr. Nowitzki, right? One of the UFC.
Very good news. We got
one of the UFC anti-doping policies heads of that program, right? Was on a show with Joe Rogan yesterday, and they talked about about CBD being actually widely accepted now in this year, and they're going to follow the World Anti-Doping Association, right? WADA. Yeah, and because it has no type of
performance enhancing.
Exactly, it doesn't have any performance enhancing.
And they said, it's
and
good.
It heals your
injuries.
It
helps your anxiety after training, things like that. So, And that brings the point, that we're obviously very proud of our sponsor, because we're sponsored by CBD Boutique.
Oh, nice.
A local company here in Albuquerque.
Where is that? I should go there. I should go there and visit them.
Yeah, this is some discount cards for you.
So we got a little sample here for you. It's the full size.
This one actually doesn't
strength.
have any strain of THC.
Hecka brand.
Yeah, and they have. We just came up with this is also. Oh, hold on, not this one.
But we had to be very careful. We had to be very careful about it because.
So how many drops of this you do?
So you
half a dropper.
Half a dropper. Yeah.
Half a drop in the morning.
Yeah,
Day and night.
half a dropper at night.
It's concentrated. Huh?
Yeah. Yeah, and
that's the 1,000 milligram version. So
this is where this is their punch card, so you get 15% off, plus you get some more stuff if you keep comments on the back.
But the cool thing about it is per Jeff Novinsky with the UFC is that it is now legal and authorized for athletes in the UFC.
Just please check with them, make sure that without I don't know if there's any
unless he put out some bad information on the Joe Rogan podcast yesterday.
No, I read it
but
too.
2018,
the
2018
rules.
rules.
When I was filling in my whereabouts, I read it too.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was fascinated already by CBD oil, and I was informed about it for several months now. And reading it yesterday, before. On 31st I filled in or 30th of December, so I read about it and that it's allowed, and I was pretty excited about it. And I wanted to talk to other athletes here and tell them that what they think about it.
Of course,
because
Diego
this is
sponsored
that heals your injuries, man.
It's
even if you have it on your
it's holistic
injury.
medicine. They have if you go to the store, they have many different things. They have ointments, they have even for pets,
creams,
different things. They have where you can
tablets.
I'm going there today, man.
There's so many things. And also just guys, so you know, if you go to their website, thecbdboutique.com, and you purchase anything, you put the code JWRAW10. Okay, that's our discount code. You'll get 10% off.
You get a better deal.
Yeah, so you get a better deal if you want to order it.
Use that coupon code.
Yeah, they get their things from Colorado farms, from Colorado, right across the border. It's none of that, crap from somewhere else that flying over.
It will be nicer if it was from Holland.
Well,
that would be
with you.
That would be expensive.
Maybe you'll bring some with you next time. We'll compare it. We'll compare it.
Yeah, we don't want him to get in trouble with customs.
Well,
no,
but we don't know.
doesn't.
It's becoming.
Well, it is legal. It is illegal in US though.
Yeah, there you go.
It's illegal.
What?
It's illegal to get it with you over to
illegal?
America. It's illegal. Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course it is.
Yeah, it's illegal. I looked into it though.
Yeah.
But they're making it illegal to fly with it.
It is illegal to fly with it.
But
it is illegal to bring it to customs in the United States of America.
Yeah, they'll confiscate it.
I've heard people fly with it, and there's no
hide it.
They're not been checked.
They hide it differently.
Once you're Afghan like me, and you travel and they find it with you, you're in big trouble.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I get checked every time.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like they pull me aside and they do those type of papers in my hands.
You can't pull your connections of these guys carrying you.
And then they're like, we're checking for explosives. Oh, I said, oh, you checking for explosives? It's here.
Here's why you're stupid.
I said, which one do you want? Which one do you want? The left or the right?
I love that.
Which one do you want? My legs, the left or the right one? I said, looking for explosive, it's there. And
I
then
didn't
they
see
laugh
that.
My
about
whole
it.
body is explosive.
I'm a weapon.
I'm a bomb.
Yeah.
All explosion. So
a bomb, not a bum.
No, not bomb. B-O-M-B.
Yeah.
Don't say that word. These days,
I tell them, I always tell them, if you're looking for explosive, it's here. Some of them who understand the joke, they laugh about it.
Yeah.
But some of them, they're like, sir, what do you mean, sir?
Where do you have a bomb?
Yeah, what do you mean explosives in your hands?
You'd be like, tune in on UFC 2.
And then I'm like,
Fox Sports. You'll see.
And then I'm like, dude, I'm just a fighter. That's why I'm saying it's explosives in my hands.
Well,
they're like, oh, this is not funny, sir.
Siyar, I want to, from the bottom of my heart, I want to tell you I appreciate you, your support.
Thank you, sir.
The team loves you. You're a great addition to this team.
Thanks, man.
If you ever need anything, bro, you know where I'm.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for bringing me here to say what I feel about this whole situation and my plans for 2018.
New champion.
Stay tuned, guys. Follow. Plug your social media.
We should start a poll. Of all the fighters that we have, is that who's going to redeem the name of Jackson Wink? Like who's gonna be the first one to put us back on the map?
There you go.
We should actually start that.
I wish I would be that.
Well, don't wish. Your fight's coming up.
I will do that make it happen. Style and grace.
It'll give the fighters a little incentive to.
2018 is going to be Siyar's year, and let's.
Many people don't know. Like the hardcore fans know who I am, but a lot of other people don't know who I am. They've never heard about me, because in the years that MMA went really mainstream with Conor McGregor, I was out of the scene. I was licking my wounds in the dark, getting healed from my injuries.
Yeah, you were Batman.
We're about to unleash this
in the
guy
cave.
Okay, so now I'm back, and nobody knows me, but the welterweight fighters know who I am.
They know who's coming.
They know who's coming for them.
I like that.
They're fucking.
What's your record now?
I am 23-6-1. 23 wins, 6 losses, and 6 mistakes that I will not make again.
How many in UFC?
In UFC 5. 3-2. Okay. 3 finishes, 2 losses.
Finishes. That's
3 finishes. Yeah, I'm a finisher. I don't take prisoners.
Good.
And but the fighters know that I'm coming for them, and when I come for them, and the door is locked, they can't run away.
Let's plug your social media a little bit.
Okay, so people.
How do we find you?
People, people who like sarcasm and like intelligent humor. Please
so there
follow
he is.
Me
follow him at the Siyar. There you go.
It's also my Twitter and it's also my Facebook fan page.
Make sure you look for that little verified thing, and you can find him by Siyar the Great. There you go.
Bahadurzada.
So follow him.
Next welterweight champ.
This
no
number
doubt about it. We'll do
this number needs to grow.
We'll do everything possible to get you
Thank
there.
You guys, and I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for
you,
following me.
Thank you, everyone.
Looking forward to talk to you guys on social media.
Thank you, Siyar.
Be good humans, yo. Be good humans.
See you next time.
See ya.
Absolutely.
Through these doors walk the greatest fighters in the world.